my God. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. I'm blown away. So this is our first night doing the Adoptee Open Mic Nights. So just huge thanks to you guys for showing up and being willing to be vulnerable and support each other. We're so excited. I went off my script. I'm so sorry. Anyway, our
You need the script. Who cares?
I know, I'm sorry. I just want everyone to know this is a safe space. It is meant to encourage and support and inspire other adoptees. We all have voices. We all have very important things to say. So we need a space that's just for us, that's just for our voices. And it's so amazing to have allies listening and being supportive. But this space is going to be for adoptees only because we've been told to pass the mic so many times before. So this time it's our turn. And before we get started, thank you. I just want to let everyone know this is being recorded. If that makes you feel uncomfortable and you would prefer to remain anonymous, should we put this on our YouTube channel, which we're trying to build up, just get a hold of me after, either DM me on social media or email me, message me, try to get a hold of me somehow, and I will make sure that your image and name remains anonymous. That's all I have. So that is my very short opener, and I'm going to let Ryan take it from here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ryan. I am so excited to share this space with you. Last December, I started an online open mic as an offering to COVID-19 nightlife. It was a midnight hour open mic that really was mostly a gathering of friends, and I learned a lot about how to run an online open mic. And then it got to be too much to do by myself. I wanted to reach more adoptees, and so out of a lot of really fortuitous conversations and connections and conversations, this space has come to be. We welcome everyone to join us. Everyone. However, only adoptees are welcome on the mic. This space is going to be centering adoptee voices, and we're going to be putting Black, brown, queer, and trans adoptees to the front of the line. And I'm really excited to create this space. There's not really a space like this. This is the first meeting. I'm already so excited about how many people are in the room. I hope that y'all will come off of we'll turn your cameras on. And join us. If you don't feel like turning your camera on, I'm a camera off person, so I totally understand. Please just introduce yourself in the chat. If you interact with us in the chat, lines you like that people are saying, if you wanna send a message to someone via the chat, that'll be great. That'll be a great way if you're not an adoptee and you want to participate in the conversation. Since you're not welcome on the mic, you're welcome to join us in the chat with your words of support and comments. I really hope that everyone's able to keep it positive. And I've really thought about like content warnings and trigger warnings, and I think that's a conversation that we'll have. But we're also adoptees, and we didn't get those things when we were purchased out of our cultural, linguistic, and familial settings. And a lot of us have dealt with issues such as emotional, verbal, mental, sexual abuse, all of these things. This is Adoptee Suicide Awareness Month. Adoptees are 4 times more likely to commit suicide. All of these things are our reality. We didn't get a warning. There's no model. There's no framework for us. And so you're not always going to get a content warning and a trigger warning. And it's okay for you to not, it's okay for you to share them. It's okay for you to not share them with us. And we're here to support you no matter where you're at in that. If you're unable to support, there is one solution, that is to exit the space. We're going to be focusing on positivity and encouragement in the space. And so if you're not able to do that, we'll kindly ask you to leave and then we'll kick you out. It's not going to be like a long process. Yeah. Okay. Chris, got it. Perfect. I'll just shoot me a message when you're back and ready, and I'll put you on. So that said, if anyone has any questions, just raise your hand or send me a personal chat. I'll probably like address it verbally. If you send me, even if you send me a private chat, I'll address it verbally, just because I'm going to be hosting and running the show. If you want something not to be addressed verbally like by me, then just send it right on over to Hannah, and Hannah will type a response, and she'll keep it off camera. I think that's how we kind of have broken it down, just so you know. Hannah's like back of the house and I'm like front of the house in terms of our duties. So like if you have something about like being on the mic, about the order or something like that, like definitely direct it toward me. If you have more logistical things, questions like that, things that you want to be dealt with off camera, Hannah's your go-to person. So I think that covers everything. Mila, I'm going to welcome Mila to the mic first. She's the reason that Hannah and I met and that this space came to be. So in some ways, she's like our mother. So I'm welcoming Mila to the mic. Thank
you. No, I feel so grateful to be here in this space, and I'm the fortunate one to know you, Ryan, and to know Hannah. You two are just such phenomenal human beings, so much light and so much love, but also just like so much power. You both are so powerful. So I'm really, really grateful, really glad to be here. So the piece that I'm going to read, it is pretty heavy. I will just go ahead and preface it with that, opening up with something heavy. The title of it is Protea. And it's actually going to be one of the tracks on my upcoming musical poetry album that I'm releasing in November. Intentionally National Adoption Awareness Month, and the themes of the album specifically focus on the the colonialist and imperialist roots of transracial transnational adoption, but also the intersection of our experiences as adoptees, also the intersection with sexual violence and assault. So it's a very heavy and intense album, and this piece matches with that heaviness. So again, it's called Protea, and usually I've like this piece, it's going to sound really different on the album because it will have music and all of that accompanying it. But in this space, I'm just going to read it and share it with you all there. So again, it's called Protea. War was the beginning of a new death for 200,000 of us. We vanished and are vanishing like a secret that lies down with the dead, as though we had never lived. Born in a country no longer our own, to live in a country that would never feel like home. None willing to make claim to us because our mothers gave birth to us at exactly the wrong time. Because your face is more precious than your offspring. as you point your folly at those demons that have found rest beneath your beds, from which you cast us out to bear your shame and your sorrow alone into the great white net that strangles until it induces an omnipotent amnesia that wrenches you to forget yourselves, your kin, the person, the people, the language, the land, the family, the love you might have been. Nothing, no one without us, because the motherland is a god where all the mothers obey every word, where blood so loosely ties in the tides of the gospel of genocide, in the evangelism of manifest destiny of poverty, and the unworthiness of an unwed mother who could not escape the reach of the pale arm that murders with religion, that oppresses with love, the big brother I never dreamed of visits me in the night, tells me not to scream and cry, ensuring the neighbors will not hear and the truth will learn to fear. Your white God, killing us all to save us all, from us all, to serve you all. Babies like gold, flying in the sky, in your steel boxes for your bleached and longing wives, hiding their cigarettes in their bassinets for the shakes and the shivers of their lives of guilty privilege, collateral children, treasures of bloodshed. Pillage our village for raw girls and trophy wives to discard, while you smoke your cigars in your empty houses, made of bones and bombs and stones and guns and walls and walls and walls of mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, lying as though sleeping, so neatly, so silently, stacked like folded sacks of skin and hair, melting into one another, wet and precious, filling up your cups and dishes for you to sip until you forget all that you did, all that you bid, all that you hid, all of your prophets, all of your holy prophets, screaming in your fat head, we are no longer dead. We live, we rise, we march, we will overcome. And you will awaken to the sound of your own heart's pounding, too late, as we stand up, as we shout out, as we kick down your door. We march, we rise, we live. That's it.
Wow, Mila. Whew. I was just like about to type my response in the chat. I was like, wait, I'm hosting. I need to come back to myself. Thank you so much for sharing your words, Mila. I'm really excited to hear that to music. As Sanjay said, starting off strong. That's definitely the tone I wanted to set. When I was talking to Hannah yesterday, we were talking, she was like, talking about the mood and everything, and I was like, I'm going for devastation, Hannah. So I really you're so amazing, Mila. Yeah, that's like so incredible. And going for devastation, you really just took me on Such a ride. So our next reader tonight is going to be Heather. After Heather, I have Sanjay on deck because Chris needed a little time to deal with children's stuff. Also, if you are interested in performing, shoot me a message, or raise your hand, or just let me know. So, Heather, welcome to the mic. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Woo! Okay. I wasn't ready for that, but here I am. Thank you, Mila. And also thank you, Mila, for asking me, inviting me to read tonight. Just a disclaimer, I've never read any of my poetry out loud. So this is a totally new space for me in so many ways. But I'm here and I'm excited. So this piece of poem work that I wrote was right after the Atlanta shootings. And so like many of us, I was in a position of kind of, just really reflecting, and I had a lot of stuff, like a lot of emotions, like most of us. Just where do I fit into all of this as a transracial Korean adoptee? How is this going to impact my relationships with my family? All of those sort of thoughts were floating through my head, and I like many of you, I think we're still probably processing still, even though this took place, a couple 6 months ago, whatever. So anyway, so I wrote this piece right after that. So again, this might be a little heavy depending on how you're entering this. So thank you. The title is called Displaced. Don't assume that I am grateful to be here. 6 Asian women shot, left for dead. Can you hear me? Your violence is killing us. I'm drowning in a bottomless pit of whiteness. Keep my head down. Don't be too emotional. Always be agreeable. And don't look too Asian. Assimilation. Are you surprised that I speak in perfect English? The look on your face shows so much disdain. Chink, go back to your country. I want to scream, fuck you. Do you think I like it here? Exhausted from proving that I exist, I swallow my pain. The moment I stepped off the plane with my brown slanted eyes and coarse black hair, I stuck out from a sea of blonde waves and fleshy white faces. A mother once told me that I looked like a China doll, and I believed her. I imagined my birth country, where mountains give way to the sky, the blossoms of lilacs fall like snow, and gold leaves of ginkgo trees line the streets below. At night, crying babies soothe on backs of black-haired Omas, singing our ancestors' songs. Given away at birth, my homeland is a myth. Go home, you say? I have no home. I turn and walk away. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. That was really beautiful. And I'm just really impressed. That's like your first time on the mic. Like, welcome to the mic. This is so exciting. Like this is exactly what we're here for, is to create this space for you, and give you a space. And I'm so happy that you took the risk of joining us and reading your work. And I am really excited to see more of hear more of your work. Whew. All right, y'all. Well, Sanjay, ready to go?
I'm here whether I'm ready or not. So
True. Oh, one more thing before I go on back on mute. Y'all keep sending me the signups. Space is filling up.
Hi everybody. I'm Sanjay. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm also a first timer here for any sort of open mic. So I wrote this very spontaneously last night. Mila was kind enough to send me the invitation to attend, and I was like, sure. And then it was, okay, should I write something? And I was like, why not? I'm not usually spontaneous, so why the fuck not? So it's not really poetry. It's kind of a reflection. I don't know. Decide for yourselves. That's kind of the point of open mic, I guess. So here we go. Everyone remembers learning Romeo and Juliet in school and hearing the line, "What's in a name?" And while most folks may not give it much thought, names can define our lives in ways we have never even anticipated. In Indian culture, names are passed on within families and designate caste, but I was never given a last name. I was simply known as Yadama on my paperwork. My white adopters thought that it was too difficult for others to spell or pronounce, despite their own getting it wrong in our home movies. So, to remedy the situation, my adoptive father decided to get a list from an Indian coworker of Indian girls' names and picked one. So, once again, white people benefited off the free labor of brown folks and decided my original identity was not worth the hassle of telling others outside of a middle name. Now, some of you may be wondering why I'm talking about girls' names when clearly I don't look like a woman. That's where the third part of my story comes in. I'm a transgender man, which means I was assigned female at birth and began my medical transition exactly 7 years ago today. As part of that process, I chose a name for myself, but it was bittersweet. Because adoption robbed me of my cultural identity, I lost access to the naming customs, so basically had to use the equivalent of like indianbabynames.com or something. And then I realized I chose my name based on the name that my adopters gave me, and not even my biological name. Having my current name and my birth name tattooed on my arm in my mother tongue is simultaneously empowering and heartbreaking, because I learned that my birth name most likely just meant a girl from the Yadava tribe. I was not unique enough to warrant having a name beyond a basic noun and an identifier. They say all the cells in your body regenerate every 7 years, so what better way to commemorate this new chapter than to affirm my wholeness? My name Sanjay means victorious, overcoming of obstacles, and I like to think sharing this today is a testament to that strength, despite the best efforts of the adoption industry. Thank you.
Hold on, I'm taking notes, so you have to give me wow. For not really poetry.
Shaking, being like, I'm gonna really go hide because my anxiety is so high. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just hide now.
Yeah. No, we're here for you. I totally understand, and like how it like gets like pumps your adrenaline, and your heart starts racing and like gets sweaty and everything. But that was really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Sanjay. I can't like that didn't sound like your first reading, and that absolutely sounded like poetry for being, as you said, not really poetry. That was really powerful and really moving, and a lot of the themes, just like your discussion of names, I just really relate to how you described the name you were given at birth. I'm like, dang, that's like exactly how I feel about my name, my birth name.
I mean, I'm no Dr. Seuss. I'll say that I'm not Dr. Seuss, but you know.
Well, I'm kind of glad you're not Dr. Seuss, but yeah, and that you're just Sanjay. But yeah.
But thank you, Mila, for letting me on and for letting me just try that. So thank you.
So glad you shared.
You know what I should have been doing this whole time? We should all be like taking ourselves off mute and cheering for everyone after every performance. So we're gonna do that with this one. Everyone take yourselves off mute and cheer. Yes, Sanjay, thank you so much for sharing. Cool. Okay, wait, we're gonna like kind of go a little retroactively. So now can we do the same thing for Heather, please?
Yes.
Yeah, Heather, thank you so much for sharing. I can't believe that was your first time on the mic.
Yay for first timers, yes.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, yay for first timers. Okay, and then one more. We're gonna go back one more step and just cheer for Mila. Everybody,
Yes.
Mila. I just can't say enough for how important you are to me, Mila. Thank you so much for everything you do for our community. All right. Thanks y'all for going with me on that. I meant to do that the whole time, but I forgot. So we're gonna be doing that from now on. So if I don't do it, can like somebody also like, be like, hey Ryan, don't forget to cheer for everybody that performs. So our next person on the mic is Chris. He's back. So Chris, welcome to the mic.
Hi everybody, my name is Chris. Pronouns he, him, his. I'm gonna read two things that I wrote last year. And I don't know if I really wrote them in 2020 or I started it off in 2019. Just to give you all a brief introduction, I'm a late discovery adoptee, and I learned that I was adopted 2 years ago in 2019. So it's been 2 crazy years of just trying to process and learn, and just, mostly just learning about adoption and everything related to it, and then how it affects me and how I need to process this now. It's it's a huge deception, just coming out and realizing that the people who I was raised by are actually my adopters, and I'm not biologically their child, as they told me I was. So yeah, in that process, I do a lot of writing, and here are 2 things that I wrote and I threw onto Instagram, and I'm going to read them now because it's what helped me process my adoption. All right, so this is the first one. I'm a product. I'm a product of my mother and my father. I'm a product of relinquishment and abandonment. I am a product. I'm a product of separation and adoption. I'm a product of loss and trauma. I am a product. I'm a product of my adopters and my upbringing. I'm a product of my nature and my thoughts. Yesterday, I was a product of my circumstances. Today, I'm a product of my decisions. So that's the first piece. And I don't know if you caught on, but the way I wrote that one, it's like the first line, I'm a product of my mother and my father, and then relinquishment and abandonment. It kind of goes together, where I was relinquished by my mother and possibly abandoned by my father, because I don't know what happened there. And then, the next line, with separation comes loss, and with adoption comes trauma. The next one is kind of a different one. I was raised by my adopters, and they thought that they could change my nature with nurture. So, their upbringing did not affect my thoughts, as much as they tried with all the gaslighting, if you will. I always knew I was different from them. And that's how I wrote that piece. And then I'm going to read the second one. And this was just for me to, I guess, process being relinquished and not really knowing the story of why I was relinquished or why I was abandoned or whatever it is, because I just don't know. So I'll start the second one. I'm a person. The idea of me is not the same as the person I have become. I'm a person with thoughts, feelings, and emotions. When I was born, I was unwanted, but not me as a person. It was me as an idea that was unwanted. When I was adopted, I was wanted, but not me as a person. It was me as an idea that was wanted. And that ends the second piece, which I kind of wrote because, yes, I was abandoned and I was taken, but the person I am is still the person I am, and one of the things I always say now that I know that I'm adopted, I'm a late discovery adoptee, is I know who I am. I just don't know what I am, because the what has always been filled with lies and deception, and trying to learn where I'm really from and what really makes my roots and my ethnicity and all that is still something I'm learning every day. But who I am is who I choose to be. Yeah. But yeah, those are my 2 pieces. My name is Chris. Thank you.
Everybody, can you please take a photo? Chris, thank you so much for reading. Those pieces were incredible.
So good.
Heart. Oh.
And so I should. It's really incredible how we all came to meet. I met everybody online at times that seemed to be a coincidence, but it was right on time. And this community, like the first time I met Sanjay and Chris, they had decided to do an Instagram live because they had just met and they were so excited about the conversation they had upon meeting that they were like, we got to broadcast this. And then I remember being up there and Chris is talking about his dreams. And I'm like, yeah, he's like, is that crazy? Does that make sense? I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. I get it. And talking about you were talking about how your birth mom came to you in your dreams, despite the fact that in your reality this information was being obscured, and just how that's just really incredible. And yeah, what Hannah just said, if you wanna read, let Hannah know. We are gonna stop right at 9. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up to the chat. So we are gonna stop right at 9. And There's no one else signed up right now. I have a couple extra things to read, so I'm gonna read 2 pieces instead of 1 as I was planning. And then I also, like, if you any of the readers, Mila, Heather, Chris, or Sanjay, if you want to read something else, just shoot me a message.
No problem with that.
What'd you say?
I can read another one.
Oh, right on, cool.
If there's anyone else,
Well, I'm gonna do 1, and then Mila's gonna go again, and then if
Okay.
somebody else wants to, so the one that I actually just wrote this on Monday. I participate, and for everyone who's here who's a writer, we are in November, which is Adoption Awareness Month, or whatever we're calling it. Like, I want to call it something more adoptee centered. Like I don't know. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. But this event is going to be ongoing. It's going to be on the 3rd Thursday of every month. I'm going to be reaching out to all of y'all, and I'm gonna, at the end, I'm gonna ask everyone to drop their emails into the chat so we can be in touch with you. We're going to be doing this on the 3rd Thursday of every month, ongoing. And on the 1st Thursday of every month, starting in November, during the same time slot, we're going to be doing a generative writing workshop that I'm going to be leading during that same time. And this was inspired by I'm a part of 2 online writing communities that have been such solid support for me throughout this pandemic. And none of them, the crazy thing is like the second one I attend, the Friday one, like the first one I attended, it was like a very adoptee specific prompt, and I was like, whoa, like this is like really like right in line with what I was thinking, like so right on time. But the one that I'm gonna share, I wrote on my Monday night one, which is called BIPOC Writing Party. If any of you are looking for a space to write, it's at 8:00 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays, every Monday. Two writing prompts, two writing 20-minute writing prompts, a 10-minute break, and then everybody has a chance to share. It's one of the most powerful experiences. All people of color are welcome. And so our writing workshop on the 1st Thursdays is going to be our offering to the online writing community. Again, but ours is going to be adoptee specific. We're creating adoptee specific spaces. So this one I just wrote on Monday, and the prompt was like led by this Hawaiian poet who was just like sitting in her garden. She was like, everybody just needs to go outside and eat some fresh fruit. And I'm like, okay, that sounds really nice. And but so she had us write letters to our younger selves. So this is what I wrote. Dear Ryan, it is okay that you are tired. Moving in either direction, whether toward your past or toward your future, requires tremendous work from your imagination, which is tested every time you move in either direction. Seeking connection from a familial, cultural, and linguistic identity out of which you were purchased by no fault of your own. I want to emphasize that none of this is your fault, dear Ryan. Not being born, not the ways in which your whole lifetime has been fucked as a result of your initial purchase. So though you will not even believe this as it is happening in your future, there is a point when you realize you have to leave everything in the past, and you do. And it is not easy, though absolutely worth every step of every journey. It will hurt. I want to emphasize that it will hurt. And within this pain, every single time, you will realize how possible healing truly is. Every single time, over and over, as you expand in every direction to become the person you have always been. Dear Ryan, you do everything correctly and are a force of nature, and existing outside of your context has and will always make you feel like a lie. Here is a reminder that this is by design. Here is a reminder that you are real. Here is a reminder that time is not real. Here is a reminder that you are beautiful. I love you. Love, Ryan.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
So beautiful.
So good, Ryan.
Thanks, everyone. My partner's in the other room, and I can hear him cheering, and I can hear the cheering echoing. It's really beautiful. Thanks for the support, everyone. I really just love the supportive environment that we're creating, an open environment, and I'm just so excited to be in this space with every single one of you, because that's what I'm here for, is to feel connected. So Mila, welcome back to the mic, my friend.
Hey, thank you for that poem. Oh my gosh. Just everyone's words. I'm just sitting here like simultaneously filled with joy and sorrow. You know, in a good way, in a good way. Like I love having this space where we can all be together and grieve and heal together. And yeah, I feel like the space where, yeah, we're supporting each other in our journeys of grieving and healing and using poetry and art to do that. Just everyone, thank you so much, everyone who shared. Sanjay, Chris, Heather, Ryan, of course, like this is so empowering. I'm so encouraged. Okay, I'll stop blabbing. Okay, so the next poem I'm gonna read. This one is called Market, and I don't know if I've ever read this one before, but anyway, okay, it's called Market. And I'm just reading it off my computer because I pulled it up real quick. Okay. What weeping remains that has not been wept before by our ancestors? No one hears, no one sees, no one listens, no one cares. Of our chests and blood laid bare like a market. This shard of bone is his. This flap of skin belongs to her. This dime of womb, this stitch of hair will look lovely on the antique chair, featuring in our premiere appropriations and euphemisms for colonizers and oppressors, explorers and adventurers, conquistadors masquerading discoverers, inventors of new ways to murder, genociders, kidnappers, usurpers, traitors. You meant to say traitors. Centuries of plagiarizers, pretenders, imposters, stealing, looting treasures, minds, histories, generations, stripping land and people until even the weeping is mined for its artifacts and all that remains. Are the remains locked away in museums, glass boxes, dust and ashes, still feeding the earth, mother to the lost, to her perpetrators, her invaders, giving birth to an eternal war? No weeping remains that has not been wept before.
Wow, Mila, bringing down the house and bringing down those tears from my eyes.
I wish
what
I was
Mila
a
said-
quarter as articulate as you. Damn. I'm not even an eighth as articulate as you. Damn.
Let's shower it on Mila one more time, y'all.
Wow.
Yes, Mila. We love you so much, Mila. Oh my God, your words are so powerful. Like one of the first things Mila said to me was like how her music is like not meant. It's not like everyday music, and I was like, I mean, what are you talking about? This is what I think about when I'm vacuuming, and so like this is perfect everyday music for me. And like something about like emo adoptees, and like I just love being in a room of people who I just like say these things to that normally like nobody has any idea what I'm talking about or can't relate to, and like flipping that to being in a room full of people who understand exactly what I'm talking about. Um, we're gonna welcome Chris back to the mic one more time, and then after that, I'm gonna go, and then we're gonna wrap it up for the night, y'all. This has been a really amazing first night so far. So, Chris, welcome back to the mic.
All right, so this one's not. I mean, it's still something I wrote, still writing, but it wasn't in terms of being a poem or music or any of that. I'm actually going to read a section of a letter that I wrote to my adoptive parents. The reason I decided to read this is I had another adoptee once share, because I posted this in my blog, the entire thing, and they were like, this one piece was amazing and it really helped them. So I'm just going to share this. Okay, so here goes. If I could put all my anger into a rock and throw it at someone, I wouldn't quite know where to throw it. I throw it at you for lying to me. I throw it at my birth mother for relinquishing me. I throw it at the Indian ideals and shitty social stigma that led to my relinquishment. I throw it at society's views on adoption and how it's made out to be such an exotic and wonderful thing, all the while forgetting the loss of a person's birth family. In a perfect world, couples wouldn't have issues conceiving. Women wouldn't be harshly judged or mistreated for having children out of wedlock or what have you, and there would be no adoptions. But that's not the world we live in. And the fact of the matter is, at this moment, I honestly do not know why I was relinquished. I'm still upset at both of you for lying, even after confronting you both and just how long it took for you both to admit the truth. As my parents, you're the people I trusted most as a child. It's hard for me to see how the people that proclaim to have loved me the most are also the ones who withheld such big information about my identity from me. And yet, I'm grateful for the life that I have. You did what you were supposed to do as parents in that you raised us and provided for me, but you also took away my beginnings and force-fed me a made-up story of your choosing. So here I stand with a rock in my hand that I'll never be able to get rid of. It's a rock with no purposeful destination. That's pretty much it. Anger is still one of the things I'm still trying to process and deal with. It's one of my pet peeves when people are like, oh, you should let go of your anger and what, all this stuff. And I feel like anger gets a bad rap as a negative emotion, right? When in fact, anger is what has helped me set up boundaries. It has helped me process. Anger has pretty much helped me do a lot of things because with my anger, I'm choosing to take back what was lost from me or what was taken away from me. But yeah, that's it. Thank you. Ryan, thank you for letting us all be here. And Mila, thank you for inviting me. I know you were the one who reached out and asked me to share some stuff. So thank you. And thank you to everybody else sharing some powerful pieces. So great.
I want to give it up for Chris one more time, y'all. Thank you so much, Chris.
That was powerful.
It's so powerful. The thing that I love, like, even in this short time, like the themes that are emerging in everyone's work individually and also as a collective. This is a powerful space. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. There's not spaces like this don't exist for us. I take it back about the thing I said about the emails earlier. I'm not going to take your emails. We can get in touch with you via the Eventbrite, via Eventbrite stuff, and just mark your calendars for the third Thursday of every month at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9. We're gonna start sharply at 8 and sharply at 9. One thing I like, we as adoptees are so verbose. We have so much to say, and so I like it very intentionally, like me included. I'm including myself in this community. And so I want it to be like this thing. It's an hour. We're here. We get this like love burst of light and love and support, and then we like fly back into our corners of activism and fighting our families and fighting our communities and for recognition and support and the world that we deserve to live in, that we were purchased into. So the last piece that I'm going to read is a piece I wrote in another writing workshop on Sunday. It's called The Ongoing Effects of Being Commodified and Sold on an International Marketplace. The things I wish to disappear are those that are rooted in my erasure, which feels complicated, like losing things never belong to you. Like a page, in particular the first page of a journal, torn out, folded, and tucked in the back, obscured for decades, wondering what it might mean for the child that was never meant to be, of the mother who was never meant to have him. The things I wish to disappear and appear are one and the same, my mother, though these are not the same person. I wish one would exit and the other would enter, and they do, though only in my imagination. And I wonder who is where, and where am I? And where does anyone belong in a system where children are purchased like cars and stereo systems? I cried briefly when I read an article about an adopted child who found out they were ordered on the internet, and thought about paper catalogs of children, or the reality before that, when you pass a test and are approved and told your child is on the way, and then you wait. I think of the lists of the appropriate and inappropriate ways to photograph your adopted child to be considered for inclusion in the agency's annual calendar. I have been told that I was a beautiful child. I wonder if I should be thankful for this, as I imagine how this perceived beauty could have saved me then, in a way it does not save me now. And when my life feels like a lie, I look in one of my many bedroom mirrors to remind me that I am real, in the sense that I reflect light and images of myself appear around me, floating in various forms on the wall. And when I look around at this catalog of myself on my walls, I somehow cannot deny that I am real. Thank you, everyone.
Ooh. God damn it, Ryan.
Ryan, no, I'm over here.
I was going for devastation. How'd I do, y'all? Did I get it?
This is my second time hearing that, and I cried again.
Oh my gosh.
God damn it.
If I didn't have a massage earlier, I'd be in tears, but I'm
I can tell I'm gonna ugly cry later tonight.
So I'm working on like simultaneously my third and fourth collections of poetry. And my third one is called A Model of Healing for Queer Indian Adoptees. And I'm writing a model that doesn't exist for us. I'm really excited to share it with all of you. And so this is the end of our first gathering, y'all. This was amazing. Like, thank you so much for joining me in this space. I couldn't have done it without any of you. I am so excited to hear more of everyone's voices develop. I'm just so excited to hear everyone's writing. There's obviously no pressure or no pressure to share, but I am going to be like leaning on folks that shared to share again, because the whole point of this is a journey together. And I really wanted to be in community with everyone here, and I wanted to be intentional and meaningful, and for us to figure out a way to fly forward together that empowers us while we're flying forward individually, if that makes sense. And I don't know what might become of this space, but I'm really excited about it, and I already feel really positively. Please reach out. I'm gonna drop my email in the chat. Please reach out to me if you want to chat, if you want to talk about things, and put the third Thursday at 8 to 9 in your calendar. Just ongoing, put it on your Google Calendar, and then starting in November on the first Thursdays, same time slot, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing an adoptee specific generative writing workshop. And so I'm really excited about all of you, to know all of you, to be connecting with all of you. And thank you for joining us here tonight. Hannah, do you have anything to say before we?
No, because I'm still crying. Oh my God.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Like, please come back again and consider sharing your work to adoptees. If you know adoptee poets who are looking for space, like, please just let them know. There's no pressure. Like, it'll be great if people can just show up and show that it's safe, that it's safe for y'all to hang out here and share your work. The vulnerability here was like unreal, but also it was just like so safe. And like, I mean, we're talking about some heavy, heavy stuff, y'all. I'm just kind of trying to run my mouth for 2 more minutes so that we're holding the whole space right until 9 o'clock. So if anyone wants to jump in now and say other things, that's fine, because I think it's important we hold this space until 9 o'clock. So we have 1 more minute if somebody wants to say anything.
I just
Or
want
else
to
I'm
say
just,
thank you. You all are
thank
so
you.
Yeah,
beautiful
thank you
and
for
courageous,
holding
and
space, making it available to us.
You're welcome, Sanjay. Thank you for participating, both of you. Chris, Heather, thank you so much. I can't wait to hear more of your work. I hope I like Joe, I followed you on Instagram for a while now. I'm like excited to to get to know you more. I recognize a lot of the other names on my screen. Like I follow some of you on Instagram. You're welcome to seek me out on Instagram too. We're all really connected, and I'm so thankful for all of you, and I'm so happy that we all made it, that we're here. It's really cool. I'm so proud of all of you. All right, I'm going to start crying now, so I'm going to actually stop. I'm going to mute myself. Bye, y'all. Have a nice week.
Thank you.
I'll see.
Yeah,
Have a nice
thank you
Good
month.
night,
all
everybody. Enjoy your
so
weekend.
much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See
you
y'all
so
in a
much for
month.
Thank you
coming.
again. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing so much work, Chris.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. This was fun. Thank you for this.
Yeah, are you
I had
going to
no
come
idea.
back? Will you come back next time?
Yes, I will. I will throw it on my calendar just so I know.
Okay.
Every
We'll send
third
reminders and
Thursday.
stuff too. I'll be posting it. I mean, I know we follow each other on social media and everything, so
Yeah.
but we'll be posting. Thank you also for like supporting my book and everything like that. Like I think about like the poems you told me that were your favorites a lot. Like I just like, so thank you so much for
Oh yeah, I love the book. Yeah, it's
thanks,
fantastic.
Chris.
Yeah. But have a good night, everybody. I'll
Yeah,
hop
you
off
too.
so you can stop
All
recording.
right.
Bye,
Have
Hannah.
a great night. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank
Oh,
you
no
so
problem.
much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh wait, there's the button.